Welcome, Science Explorers. This is your lead scientist, Miss Shirley. Today's lesson is What Do Naturalists Do? In this lesson, you will explore the occupation of a naturalist. A naturalist is a scientist that studies nature. A naturalist might study plants and why they live where they do. A naturalist might study animals and where they live. Scientists use tools and their senses when they make observations. Scientists use their eyes to look at things. They use their ears to listen to the sounds around them, and they use their hands to touch things that they find. So in our last lessons, we learned a habitat is a natural home of an animal or plant. A naturalist is a person who teaches how to observe living things in their habitat. When scientists make observations, they use tools in their senses to collect and record information. Observations help scientists understand and protect living things. Let's introduce some words we need to learn for this lesson. A naturalist, someone who studies plants and nature. A naturalist might study animals and where they live. Scientists, they use tools in their senses when they make observations. Okay, science explorers, we are going to learn and also explore and investigate some questions about naturalists. So let's watch this video.
Thanks for joining us in another episode of Science Shorts. Have you ever wondered what a naturalist is? Or what tools it takes to be one? Well, keep watching.
Becoming a naturalist is as easy as stepping out your door. But wait a minute. Before we go outside, let's decide what a naturalist is exactly. A naturalist is a student of the natural world, a student of nature. The main occupation of a naturalist is to observe, to see the world, to look at nature, at the plants and animals, the insects, the fish and the birds, the rivers and lakes, and the sky and the trees, the rocks, the mountains and the valleys. Everything that makes up our world, the world of nature. To really see this world, we have to use all of our senses, not just our eyes, but our ears, our fingers, our noses, and even, sometimes, our tongues. Our backpack is one of our most important tools because we need it to carry all the stuff we are going to need to record everything we see and to help us see it more clearly. Pens and pencils, notebooks and cameras, in addition to our senses, are all some of the tools we need to observe and record what we see as we wander around in nature. As a student of the natural world, we need to take notes to remember what we saw and what we heard. We need to record everything we experience so that we have a record of it for later. In the grown-up world of science, it is called accumulating data. Sometimes we'll need to draw a picture. Sometimes write a description. We might even want to bring a sample back to look at it more closely. Often, we need to see something that is far away and we can't quite get close to it. That's why an important tool of the budding naturalist is a pair of binoculars. When looking at something that is very small, we might need a loupe or a small magnifying glass that will make the tiny things in nature seem larger so that we can see them more clearly. With a good loupe, and they aren't very expensive, you can look at things that are standing still and at things that are moving slowly. But you have to be pretty quick to look at anything that is moving around. Sometimes we see things and we don't know what they are right away. That's why it's good to bring a field guide, a book that helps us identify what we are looking at. There are field guides for everything, from insects to birds, to wildflowers, to trees, to weeds, to mammals. This is what we naturalists do. We go outside and explore the world around us. And because we are students of the natural world, we take notes and record what we see so that we can study it later and tell other people what we saw and where and when we saw it so that they can go see it too. What will you see the next time you go out your door?
Okay, science explorers, let's explore some questions we might have. So let's review. Today we will read more about what it's like to be a scientist who studies habitats. It is important to protect natural habitats. Learning about habitats is the first step in protecting them. Tomorrow the class will visit a nature center. They will meet a naturalist. The naturalist will show the students how to observe living things in their habitats. When scientists make observations, they use tools and their senses to collect and record information. Observations help scientists understand and protect living things. So what are the students doing in the middle? Think, think, think. Science explorers, write your response. The students are out in nature studying the plants instead of studying the plants inside a classroom or lab. Do you think it's better to observe plants in their habitat or inside a lab? Think, 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 science explorers. Write your response. What kinds of things do you think a naturalist studies in nature? Think, 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 science explorers. Write your response. And to summarize, what do scientists use when they make observations? Think, 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 science explorers. Write your response. And also, to summarize, what senses do you think scientists use to make observations? Think, 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 science explorers. Write your response. And finally, what did you think of today's lesson? Okay, science explorers, today we learned what do naturalists do and what tools scientists use when making observations. Okay, until next time, ciao for now.